The world is brutal, the world is violent, and nobody cares. The only person that is going to save you is going to be yourself. Time and time again has proven that ultimately it all comes down to you. And it might seem crazy, it might seem fear-mongering to talk about this type of stuff, to learn this type of information. And yet, throughout time and history, very recent history in fact, people have found themselves in some very tough situations. The craziest thing to me about combat survival is that oftentimes it occurs after evasion. And from watching the evasion video or beginning the evasion video, you know how intense and how brutal evasion can be. It can last for hours, it can last for weeks, it can last for months. But many individuals throughout history have found themselves evading from enemy forces. And once they've evaded from those enemy forces, suddenly they find themselves either so far in civilization in order to lose their invaders, or sometimes they find themselves so far in the wilderness due to trying to lose whoever's pursuing them that suddenly, after weeks, after months of evasion, they have to survive now. But it's not just survival, it's combat survival, because there's still an element of being hunted. They could still run into enemy forces. People have oftentimes evaded to where they thought their front lines were of their own forces, just like we talked about in this little intro right here, and their forces had to retreat due to being compromised. There are so many scenarios where combat survival can play a role. It can be something as simple as everything shuts down in your country, foreign forces invaded, and suddenly you're just merely surviving to keep your family alive. Don't let the time that you are finally learning and practicing this stuff be when you're looking at your family as they're starving, as they don't have any water, or God help you, just for yourself, when you're just trying to keep yourself alive, because it is a brutal situation.